Have you ever noticed how we teach our children these simple and good values? We teach them to trust life, believe in love, and we support them in being passionately curious about everything. While at some point we ourselves throw these beautiful and good values out of the window in favor of a rather cynical and pessimistic point of view where there is no trust or answer to anything really. As a child, I saw this cynical worldview in all of the adults around me, and it scared me a lot. So I swore to myself to never let go of who I was, even when growing up. And as a result, today I'm really not a typical adult. But what exactly have I done differently than most adults? Adult life can be really hard. Paying your own bills, taking responsibility, making decisions. You get hurt, bad things happen, you lose people, maybe you are overwhelmed by what is happening around you. It all can be so difficult that the light-hearted things we believed in as children seem like nothing but a pretty story. But should we really be throwing away our trust and curiosity of life itself in favor of a so-called more realistic worldview? What even is realistic? And why on earth do we always deem the pessimistic stuff to be the most real and grown up? It's not like you were a completely different species when you were a child. You were just as much of a human as you are today, only smaller. So if we see value in the things we teach our children, why don't we see value in it for ourselves? I once had an epiphany when I was standing in front of my garden zucchini. I was observing the small seedlings sprouting from the soil, amazed by the growth of this tiny plant, and I thought about the fact that in every seed there is a whole, fully grown plant with fruits already in there from the very beginning. And suddenly, in that moment, I saw myself standing in a field of grass, the stars above, and a little person standing in front of me. I felt like it was the diva or essence of the plant, and it said, "The small is in you and the big is in me. You are big, and you were small once, and I am small and will be big soon. Time is an illusion. The small is in you at all times. The big is in me at all times. This is the circle of life, and it's in us, and we are in it. We are in each other. Part of me is in you, and part of you is in me." In that moment, I could see that in every seedling, there is the potential for something big, fully grown. A flower, a tree, an animal, even a whole complex human person. I could see a meaningfulness hidden in this simplicity. I felt that all must be woven into something bigger, and this something bigger holds everything together so very kindly. Because it all just makes too much sense to be a mere product of coincidence. If you have any similar experiences, let me know about them in the comments. If you are searching for other like-minded, highly sensitive or neurodivergent people, feel free to talk to each other in the comments, because this is a really nice, sweet community full of very sensitive, very friendly people. And also, if you would like to have an art print, I have a shop, you can find the link in the description, where you can get for yourself or your loved ones a Fairy Soul art print. It seems that we have forgotten these simple truths, being distracted by so many things, until all there seems to be is the pain, the rejection, the chaos, and the bad things happening. I ask myself what we, in this time and world, even consider to be meaningful, because the more abstract, incomprehensibly traumatic, and chaotic something is, the more we seem to ascribe a depth to it, even though it is quite often merely a reflection of the terrible conditions made by humans who forgot the simplest truths of life. Also, for what reason do we consider this pessimistic point of view to be more mature than trust, kindness, and love? Have we actually forgotten that behind the struggles and the hardships created by the forgetting, there is always this kindness, holding us all together in its essence? But you can only grasp this if you disregard all the concepts you have learned and naively and emotionally engage with the big picture, just like a child would. And contrary to popular belief, this doesn't have to mean closing our eyes to the difficult realities on this planet, but if you take your attention away from the drama and simply sit down in a forest or flower field, really focus on the moment and breathe, then you feel life as it really is in its essence. I personally decided to never stop seeing the value in the good, in the kindness and in the innocence. So growing up, I may have matured and encountered loads of hardships, but I refused to accept what some people call the cold reality and stay true to an overall trust in the kindness that holds it all together. So when as a child, I decided to not let go of what was important to me, I didn't refuse to grow up. I just chose to grow into a person little me would not be disappointed by. In this respect, I'm not a typical adult, and there is no reason for me to reject childishness or naivety for myself, because life is a cycle and inner naivety is in no way contradictory to being mature. Because just like the big is already in the small, in naivety there already is maturity. Also, I'm so much happier this way. And that's why I'm not a typical adult, because I've never disregarded my inner child. I've simply matured together with it.